Hi, I'm Jack. I go to the Miami Valley School. I am currently in the U.S. History class. I'm a junior, and I'm here to tell you the story about why I'm here. So, I guess I'll start with the story of my grandparents. First, on my mom's side, my grandma Claudia and my grandpa Ben went to the same high school. And when they met each other, my grandma had a boyfriend at the time. And my grandma didn't really see much in my grandpa because he was a shorter, scrawnier guy. And she just really didn't have any physical attraction to him. But they were good friends. She allowed him to come over all the time, and she didn't really allow boys to come over ever because she was embarrassed of her house. But my grandpa Ben was the only guy allowed over to her house. Um, and they remained good friends throughout high school. Never really became a thing until my grandpa left for the military. And while he was in the military, they wrote back and forth a couple times. And my grandma actually wrote my grandpa a letter telling him that she wanted to see other people. And while that was sending to my grandpa, he came back from war to propose to my grandma. She said yes. And she actually had to call the mailman, call the post office, and beg them to take that letter out of the mail. And if you know that once a letter is sent, you can't mess with it. It's a crime. It's a law. It's tampering with mail. It's not allowed. So she was successful in retrieving the letter, and they are still married today. They're going on their 43rd anniversary, and to this day, he still does not know that she sent that letter. Now, my dad's side. My grandma Pat and my grandpa Jack, um, they never really went to the same school. They met when my grandma was a senior, or going to be a senior in high school. She and a few of her friends went to the Cincinnati Art Academy. And while they were at the Cincinnati Art Academy, my grandpa was there working as the janitor to pay his way through school. And they met because of a dare, actually. Her friends dared her to go talk to the janitor. So she went and talked to the janitor, and they found out that they both had a strong interest in art. So they decided to go on a date. They had a good time on their date. Nice date, dinner, a movie. But my grandpa didn't really see anything special at first. Um, so they kind of separated ways. And it wasn't until into my grandma's senior year, she was on a school trip to Washington, D.C. And at the time, my grandpa was in the Navy, stationed in Washington, D.C. So while my grandma and two of her buddies were in a taxi driving through Washington, D.C., my grandma sees on the side of the street my grandpa just walking. She immediately tells the taxi driver to stop the taxi. She gets out. She says, "I know him," shuts the cab door and tells the taxi driver to leave her. This is all on a school trip, by the way. Her teachers are probably freaking out. But instead, she decides to talk to my grandpa again. And that night, they went on another date, which led to many more dates, which led to them getting married and having my dad. So now, the story about how my parents met and then how they made me. So my mom was fresh out of college. She didn't have any money, didn't have anywhere to stay, and she remembers sitting on the couch with her sister, my Aunt Leslie, watching TV. And the commercial for Dyer Garofalo, Mann, and Schultz came on. You know, the one was like, get the tiger on your side. And jokingly, my aunt said, hey, you could work for him. And after a long job search, my mom still came up empty handed, and so she decided to act on what her sister had said. And she applied for a job at Dyer Garofalo, Mann, and Schultz, the company my dad works at. And she was hired on the spot, and she was working a lot of little jobs back and forth. And all of a sudden, she started getting a lot more duties and like the jobs no one else really wanted to do. And being my mom, she was pissed about it. And in our family, really don't take things lying down. So she went up to my dad. She got in his face and she yelled at him because she thought he was the reason that she was getting all these like dumb jobs. And after she yelled at him, he said, listen, I'm sorry. I wasn't the one to give you these jobs, but I like your attitude. Why don't you help me on a few cases? So after my mom yelled at my dad, he invited her to work on a few cases with her. And after a few cases, my mom kind of got a crush on my dad. And with that, they continued to work on cases together, and like all I can say is they fell in love. Um, they went on a lot of dates, and they ended up getting married and having their first kid, me. So I guess I wouldn't be here if it weren't for very lucky deployments, soldiers being in the right place at the right time, and if it weren't for the women in my family being very confrontful people. So yeah, that's me.